updated with that. One thing I was asked to put out this evening, which is may shock some. Where are we? Let me just find it. Oregon. A lot has been going on, and I gave a hint at it in the show. It was either the show on Wednesday or the clarification on the Sunday. I can now bring more details. Now, the BLM, which is not very popular, which is fair enough. What people need to understand is the BLM is not part of or under the control of the US government. The cabal have run BLM for a long time, but just recently talks have been going on, and it has now been reverted back outside of their control. The party who have been in negotiations with BLM and the US government have made an agreement so far that regarding the transfer or the mining of the gold, just the gold, as the other minerals do not apply. The mining of the gold, which will be done in an environmental friendly way, which is not the way it's currently done, where there'll be no disturbance to the land, as I understand it. It's using some fancy tech, will go to the US Treasury as per the original agreement, which the cabal never executed upon. The gold will be mined. However, the technology which has been authorized is a very green technology with no caustic trailings. The land itself and the other minerals are still involved in ongoing negotiations, most likely each case being different due to current use, non-use, or some of the other minerals like silver being available for private use or can be leveraged for use to fund the mining operations. In some cases, the gold cannot be mined. Some arrangements will need to be made on that. The gold was already used to print US dollars many years ago, but the full agreement was not executed upon courtesy of the cabal. This is what is probably going to take place starting in the spring. A few areas of BLM have already been fully agreed to by its land users, and once the snow melts in these areas within the next few months, this will most likely take place. In short, the fighting of the US government for BLM or because of the BLM won't help the case, as they cannot do anything about it except try and restore the peace. Now, what I understand is that gold, which will be leveraged at 50 to 1 with an open negotiation to possibly go to 60 to 1, will go to the US government, the restored US government, not the Inc., and the restored Treasury, not the mirror company that we have at the moment. And that will be the asset-based currency system, credit system, not debit. That will provide the US with the assets it requires to facilitate the asset-based system. So that's what's going on with BLM at the moment. It is ongoing. Discussions are ongoing, but we're hoping that the mercenaries and cabal who caused most of Oregon and not the government, as I understand it, will be removed. So I hope you will see more evidence of that in the coming weeks or months. But that's the plans with BLM and Oregon and a few other regions. It will be a new asset-based system for the United States. Drake?
Yes.
Views?
Do what?
Are we ready for some questions? We've got loads.
Yeah. Do it.
Where are we? Drake, when will we see the Witch of Benghazi put in a FEMA camp, rather than seeing her dancing and prancing around and acting on the campaign trail?
Well, I've been starting some stuff on that. We'll see what happens, hopefully very soon. I've been after 3 different agencies to show damages from what she's done in terms of stipulating that what certain information could have caused, and that it was open season on a private server that was open to the world, and hopefully we'll get some action soon. Okay?
What side is the Bank of International Settlements involved in exactly? Is it cabal run, or are white hats there? And are there any good guys in Switzerland to contact?
Well, okay. Oh boy, that's run by a major mafioso. If that don't answer the question, I don't know what does. Okay?
Yes. Where are we now? It seems there are 2 factions working at disclosure. One side wants full disclosure and has valid reasons for taking that direction, and the other side wants to dole out disclosure gradually. I can see the serious consequences of fundamentalists getting the shock treatment of full disclosure and those risks, but couldn't informed religious leaders develop an approach to bring this to the masses in a way that will buffer that shock, explain that to those beings from other planets are also created from the same God source as the rest of us?
Yeah, but when you blow up a religion, what do the followers do? That's basically the problem. You're going to get partial disclosure over a period of time, period. That's going to happen. Whether anybody likes it or not, or agrees with it or not, don't make no difference. The disclosures are not going to be biblical level events. However, there is some stuff coming up that's going to be rather difficult to handle, put it that way.
Yes.
You touched on a few of them. My intel goes a lot deeper and a lot further than what he's disclosed, and whether he was asked specifically to only disclose portions, I don't know. But I do know this. If we don't rectify things, then they're going to let us kill each other and wipe ourselves out. Think about that, okay?
Yes, the only to the person who asked the question, there's not 2 factions working at disclosure. They were told that they want full disclosure within 2 years. It's the cabal who are wanting the spot 50 years, which will not happen, by the way. But in essence, for people who are aware, we've been getting disclosure since roughly 1977. It's just otherwise, a lot of us, or most of us, wouldn't have the plethora of information we already have. That is disclosure. And it's often speaking to somebody today who was saying this person's seen an ET. He's seen craft. So I said, well, why do you want disclosure when you've already had it? They've chosen to meet and greet with you. There's your disclosure. Why are you waiting for Drake or Obama or Mr. Putin or anybody else to tell you about disclosure? You've already had it. And so it's going to have to be handled in a very delicate way. Me personally, I want full disclosure 40 years ago. But I think disclosure with a small d impacts more people's lives than disclosure with a capital D. You'll find that once the small d disclosure comes out about the banking fraud and the mortgage fraud and the birth certificates and all the other stuff that affects our every person's everyday life, what you'll find is once that's disclosed, the people who weren't awake will drive disclosure with a capital D, because they'll get more angry than the people who are awake and aware, because we already know. They will push it because they'll find out, once they found out that all those conspiracy nuts were telling the truth, or a larger portion of it, they'll demand, what else have been lying? Oh, you were talking about ETs. Have they been lying about that? Well, yes, they were. Those people are going to be very angry, and you'll find it'll be the sheep, as we call it, who will drive for the full disclosure, because they'll get more angry than we are. We've gone through it over a period of time and stair-stepped it. They will drive the full disclosure once they find out disclosure with a small d. And very, very quickly, I might add as well.
I think they ought to land giant aliens at the mall.
Yeah, like the Phoenix Lights. Apparently there's a film about that coming up.
If these people, let's put it this way, most people couldn't handle full and absolute disclosure. It'd warp their mind too bad. Everybody thinks that they're grounded. Well, for now, we are, and for very good reason. Take a look around you. Take a look at the world, and then tell me that it's so lovely that somebody'd want to come down here and smell the roses. You smell the roses today, and you're going to end up with a nose full of chemtrails. I mean, E.T.'s not that stupid, okay?
Try to put some of these criminals in jail if elected.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Is a new republic being set up that will include both Canada and the United States under the American original Constitution? I hope so, since that will pave the way for Canadians to get free of the Queen and give us access to the original Constitution as written in law to declare our own personal and property rights. At the moment, all our constitutional documents, in inverted commas, point back to the Queen as the owner of everything and the government's right to do whatever they want as they deem fit.
Don't bet on it.
If there's such a movement, is Judge Anna von Reitz a part of that?
No. There's a couple of judges that I can think of that might be, and in a very private advisory position. The problem is this: an individual can exercise their rights. However, you got to know how to do it. If you do so correctly, those rights cannot be disputed, negated, denigrated, or taken from you. Now, I said a failure to participate, which means that constitutionally we have the right to free travel as a traveler. You're not an operator or a driver, you are a traveler. You get the right to ingress and egress. That means go in and out of any place you feel like in whatever conveyance is appropriate, be that an ET spacecraft or a Model T Ford. People don't understand that there is no and cannot be any